Needle Wrestling Elimination Chamber review. Robin Lundberg, Gene Cherry, Dave Sepperson off being a dad today. I was a dad this morning, Gene. I got up at 5 a.m., 4:50 to be exact, because my son Raj demanded that we wake up for the Elimination Chamber. And we'll give our reviews and reactions. I'm going to say that he liked it better than you did because he's already campaigning to watch it again later today.
It was a decent show. I'm mad I woke up that early to watch it, if I'm being honest. But overall, it was a cool change of pace. You get up early, you watch a WWE PLE, and then you get on with the rest of your day. So at that aspect, I thank the WWE for that. It's done. It's out the way. We can move on. But overall, man, like let's keep it going.
Well, here's the thing. Nobody forced us to wake up early, right? Like that was the decision that we made. It just so happened the event was in Australia. That's the reason. It wasn't like WWE is going, you must wake up at 5 a.m. It's just
Triple H did promise. Let's be real. Triple H did promise a shocking and worldwide event. So, and to be honest, I don't know if they delivered, but we could talk about that.
Did he say shocking, or did he say,
I heard the word shocking. Maybe I was asleep, but I heard the word shocking.
I have to go back and look at that, whether he actually used the term shocking or not. Here's the thing about it. Not every event can be the one, right? Like that's sometimes how I take it. It clearly was not one that you're going to go back and say, I remember where I was when I saw the 2024 Elimination Chamber, or this was the PLE of the year, or any of those things. But it was a good, solid card. I don't think there was anything that was bad on the card.
I will say this. Yes, not every card is going to be, on 10. But let's think about where we're at right now. We're on the road to WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania of all time that's been repeated on countless events since the start of the year. This did not feel like the road to WrestleMania. This felt like an episode of Raw with a couple specialty matches. Let's be honest. A year ago, where were we at? Elimination Chamber. We had Sami Zayn taking on Roman Reigns in Canada in probably one of the greatest storylines ever in pro wrestling history. Fast forward a year, and where are we right now? A fill-in kind of? Like, to me, I was highly disappointed in the overall show. And yeah, not every show needs to hit a home run, but when we're on the road to WrestleMania, you got to at least hit something. And tonight just felt like one of the most predictable events in WWE history.
It felt like a house show in a sense. A couple of these have sort of felt like glorified house shows. And you have to remember, this was, I think, for the crowd in Perth, Australia, more than anything else. It's the reason Rhea Ripley, it was sort of her event, right? I mean, you have Triple H after the fact. That's what he's talking about at the same time too. Here's what he tweeted out or put out after. What a week it's been. She's a main event superstar anywhere in the world. But this homecoming just turned things up a notch. What's going to be interesting to me is how they now position her match at WrestleMania, because she's so over with the crowd. She's up near the top of their roster. And if he's saying she's a main event superstar anywhere in the world, if it's going to be Mommy and the Man, with Becky Lynch having won the Elimination Chamber match, is that a WrestleMania main event night one?
No, it's not, because people are already talking about how much they are sick of Becky Lynch in this spot. Yes, we're on social media right now. Check out the comments on Instagram of that poster of Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. People want Liv Morgan in that spot. People want Tiffany Stratton in that spot. People are sick of Becky Lynch. I think Rhea Ripley at this moment in time, at 27 years old, is one of the brightest spots in the WWE right now. Does she deserve WrestleMania? Does she deserve a WrestleMania main event? Absolutely. But I don't think Becky Lynch is the one that's going to give it to her. I really don't. And I think this main event might really get hijacked before it's all said and done, to be honest with you.
I'm going to push back on that, because Becky's so good on the mic that she's going to sell it on the way up. And also, Becky's good in the ring too. I mean, Becky was in that Elimination Chamber match the entire time and worked her tail off in there. So I don't want to shortchange what she's capable of.
Let's be honest. She wasn't one of the best performers in that match. I could make a case Tiffany Stratton performed better. Raquel Rodriguez performed better. Bianca Belair definitely did her thing. And Becky, to me, kind of felt like she was there just to get that pinfall at the end, to be honest with you. Liv Morgan definitely outperformed her. I thought Becky might have been the worst performer in the Elimination Chamber match, if I'm being real. It was a great match, but if we're going by tiers on who showed out in that matchup, Becky's closer to the bottom than near the top. And I think that's why people were so upset that she won tonight.
the Tiffany Stratton was one of the stories, maybe the B story to the A story of
She's a
Rhea
beast.
Ripley. Yeah, she's unbelievable. I mean, she was so good in the ring in that match. The way, here's the thing. Whatever you just said about Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are legends at this point. Tiffany Stratton's in there with legends, and I thought clearly had the performance of the match, maybe of the entire card overall. The women, again, I mean, this is now 3 specialty matches running, I think, if you go back to War Games, Royal Rumble, and Elimination Chamber, where I thought the women's match was better than the men's. And I would argue that the Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax match was the second best match on the card, or tied for first.
Nah, the men's showed out tonight. I'll say that. I thought the men's Elimination Chamber match was actually better, in my opinion, tonight. But I'll say this about Tiffany Stratton. When you are a high flyer and you're doing things that maybe 3 other people on the roster can do, fans are going to love you. And the fact that she has character and she can talk and she's a high flyer, like, you are going to get over with the fans regardless. I love Tiffy time. She's probably still about a year away before they put her in that spot. Maybe we see her do something big at SummerSlam, but the fans clearly tell you, like, yo, this girl got next and we want her in the main event scene. And I thought, if I'm saying anything, I thought she had the best performance overall of the night. I thought if any star grew tonight, if any character grew tonight, it was Tiffany Stratton's.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think she was the takeaway. She was the breakout performance, if you will. And something new is always a little bit more exciting than something we've seen before. The other thing that was of note, I guess, was Cody Rhodes challenging The Rock on the Grayson Waller effect. That segment was kind of pointless to me. Here's what bothered me about it. Cody was teasing the whole, he was going to explain, in a sense, why he backed out of the match and then went back into it. And then Grayson Waller cut him off. And we still haven't gotten that explanation. And in order for all of this to make sense, I still need Cody Rhodes to articulate why the hell that happened. We know maybe why the hell it happened, outside of the realms of the storytelling. But I need to know why the hell it happened inside the realms of the storytelling.
Yeah, they honestly, if I'm being real, that did not need to be added to the show. I thought the show would have been fine without that segment. Because unless you are going to explain why you backed out of WrestleMania, what was the point of having a whole Grayson Waller effect? And I'll say this: The Rock and Roman Reigns have been putting a whooping on Seth and Cody as far as mic work. And I feel bad for Cody because this is the second year in a row he's kind of had to carry this feud with a part-timer, so it's not fully his fault. But when you do have a chance to talk on the mic, you got to come out with heat, man. Like, The Rock's out here calling fans the B word, cursing people out. Cody had, the most shocking part of the segment was Cody got grown men to admit that they were crybabies on national television. That was kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, until these guys get in the ring, I'm going to need to see a little more from Cody and Seth on the mic, because Seth kind of just repeated what he's been saying. Cody, when push comes to shove, I got your back, which honestly doesn't make any sense to me. But at the end of the day, until Cody and Seth get into the ring with Rock and Roman, they're going to have to bring a lot more heat to the mic, because those other 2 guys at the Bloodline, they're going to be bringing it, and you already know that.
Well, they're going to both be on SmackDown next week, Rock and Roman. So I think that's where you'll see the build back up. But it does feel to me like they're going to do the tag match. It feels to me either Seth has to turn on Cody or they're going to do the tag match. And I think it's more likely you see the latter. The way that Seth keeps saying, I got your back, and it's not one-on-one with the Bloodline. And the promo that they ran during the Super Bowl featuring all 4 of them, the fact that all 4 of them came out for that press conference. So why is Seth involved in all of this if he's not going to be involved, I guess is the point. Otherwise, have him go against Drew McIntyre, and that's his WrestleMania.
Yeah, Seth's involvement in the storyline is the longer it goes on, the more confusing it gets, right? Like, Seth, all right, now we know that he's facing Drew, but you're going to face Drew and then you're going to have Cody's back at WrestleMania. Seems kind of muddled to me, which is why I'm thinking that they're going to have the tag match, probably the SmackDown before WrestleMania. Get that out the way, kind of cleanse everyone's palate. You get that out the way, because Cody he said he wants to face The Rock, but he didn't necessarily say night 1 of WrestleMania. So unless maybe this coming week on SmackDown, The Rock says, you know what, I'll take you night 1. But if that doesn't happen, it's kind of this whole working 2 nights thing, to me, doesn't make too much sense right now. But it's interesting, and I think that's what WWE is going for.
Well, it doesn't make sense because, again, I don't believe this was ever the plan. I really honestly think the plan was Rock and Roman, And then what happened, well, first the plan was Cody and Roman. Then after the CM Punk injury and whatever else took place behind the scenes, it became Rock and Roman. And then because of how the fans rebelled, it became Cody and Roman again with The Rock involved somehow. And Seth was the supporting character that was just kind of like, what about me, guys?
Yeah, and honestly, and I've said this before, the fans ruined what could have been the greatest WrestleMania main event. It should have been Rock Roman. They should have just stuck to the gun. CM Punk got hurt, bring The Rock in, and that's it. But now you've got all this confusion, and I don't know if it's bringing as much interest as they. I lost a little interest tonight after the Grayson Waller effect, if I'm being real with you. Just a little interest because we got no answers. We thought we were going to get something. Yes, we got Cody challenging The Rock, but what comes of that? We have no idea, but we'll see.
Well, the interest picks back up as soon as you see Rock and Roman is the thing. I mean, you alluded to it, right? Like they're the ones who are in a way are bringing the juice. And I think Cody has to be opposite one of them to have it work. Seth's the odd man out here. I'm sorry. When it comes to star power, when it comes to interest level, when it comes to all those things, Seth Rollins is not on the same level as those other guys to me. And that's one of the big differences. And then you have to take into the account that travel here. That's one thing that makes this show a little bit different. It was so far away that you can't get everybody there. Everybody can't rearrange their schedules to be there. So that's why I think in some ways it was more of a souped up house show for the fans and an enjoyable experience for the fans, but not the thing that's going to say, oh, I know where we're going for WrestleMania and all the engines are revved up.
Yeah, I feel for Seth here because which is why I don't get the Drew McIntyre aspect of it. Because had you put him with a legend like Orton, you get a more buzz around his match. So now you've got a match that everyone kind of predicts was going to happen. Drew wins, Damian cash in, and then he's going to help Cody. He does feel like the odd man out, and he shouldn't because he's technically a world heavyweight champion. So the fact that the world heavyweight champion is looking as a fourth wheel in the biggest storyline heading into WrestleMania doesn't make a lot of sense. WWE's got a lot of questions. I left this show with more questions than answers, and but it's the road to WrestleMania, and hopefully everything works out. I'm excited for it regardless. To be honest, I can't wait to be there. I know you're excited to be there, but at this point today, there's so many questions heading into the show, and maybe that's all part of Triple H's plan, and we'll see how it works out.
Are we getting Randy Orton and Logan Paul? Is that what they set up there?
That's wild. I did not see that coming, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put Randy Orton and Logan Paul, you got to throw in Kevin Owens. You got to throw in AJ Styles. You got to make it a bigger match because Randy Orton and Logan Paul, for a guy of Randy Orton's caliber to wait, we don't know how many WrestleManias we're going to get with Randy Orton. And honestly, I thought his back was really broke. Like this dude either he sold it, the best sell job in WWE history, or this man is really hurt and he's just trying to get to the finish line. But if this is one of the last WrestleManias we're going to see of Randy Orton, I hope it's not. No disrespect to Logan Paul because he's great. He's got a bright future in the business. But I would much rather see Randy Orton face a guy of his caliber, which is why a Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match at Mania, Randy Orton, Seth would have been money. I was a little shaken with that.
I think Drew earned it, though. I mean, look, they set up whatever they're going to do with Logan and Randy Orton, and obviously whatever they're going to do with AJ Styles and LA Knight. Those were some of the seeds that were planted. We'll see where the road to WrestleMania takes us. Of course, Rock and Roman are returning this week. Everybody's returning from Australia, and Mommy got her moment. This is the Needle Wrestling.